welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome, boo. On today's video, I'm going to update you guys on my 1-year anniversary in the ER. It's been a year since I've been an ER nurse, and a lot has happened in this year. So I was hired. My official hire date is November 11th, 2019. Today is November 5th, 2020. So I'm about, a couple days early, but I wanted to update you guys and just let you know my experience so far in the ER. So to start, I will say that it has been a roller coaster. It has been very exciting, very, very fun, but very scary at times. But it's been a great experience so far. I honestly can say that I love the ER. I never thought that I would like the ER as much as I do. For those of you who know me personally, know that my passion is labor and delivery, and my ultimate goal is to be a labor and delivery nurse. But I low-key, I don't know, I'm low-key feeling the ER. I don't know if I'll stay once I get my RN. I'm digging it so far. You see a lot when you're working in the ER. I've seen so many different things, so many crazy things. I have so many stories, like I can't tell obviously because of HIPAA violations, but I could give you like general ideas of what I've seen. We get a lot of heart attacks, a lot of chest pains, a lot of strokes, a lot of injuries like trauma, assaults, and stab wounds, gunshot wounds, stuff like that, of course. But we get a lot of overdoses. Sad to say, the younger generation with these prescription pills, it is a real epidemic. And we get a lot of people, I would say between the ages of 16, 17, up to like, 50s and 60s overdosing on these prescription drugs. And it is really, really sad, specifically Percocets and fentanyl. And it's really sad. I knew that there was a crisis when it comes to prescription medication, but to see it firsthand, it's like, number one, I don't know where these kids are getting these prescription meds from when it comes to fentanyl, at least. I've been a nurse for 10 years, and I can count on one hand how many times I've seen and administered fentanyl to my patients. So it's like, where are you guys getting this from? Where are you getting your hands on it? But, we also get a lot of suicide patients who are attempting suicide. The suicide rate is getting younger, with patients younger and younger. I think the youngest patient I've seen who has tried to commit suicide was a 9-year-old little girl. And it breaks my heart, and it's devastating because it's like, what is happening in the world for a 9-year-old or a 10 and 11-year-old to feel like they have to take their own life? You know what I mean? Luckily that suicides are not fulfilled, and we bring them back, but it's devastating. I don't know, I get emotional when I talk about that because I have 11 and 12-year-olds, and it just, it breaks my heart. But other things that I see in the ER, we see a lot of patients with abdominal pains that come in, patients with either right lower quadrant pain or left upper quadrant or whatever, and you get a lot of patients with gallstones, kidney stones, a lot of appendicitis. So we get that a lot. I personally don't see a lot of the critical care patients because I'm not in RN yet. I deal with the lower acuity patients, so patients with more minor urgent needs, but it's minor, you know what I mean? It's not life or death threatening. So I get a lot of patients with like dog bites. I get some assault victims. I get a lot of headaches, symptoms of UTI, flu-like symptoms, all that stuff. And what else? So I'm a screener sometimes when they're needed, when a screener is needed in the front. I'll go and I'll pretty much screen patients for COVID, see if they have symptoms of COVID, see if they've been exposed to anyone who's tested positive for COVID, or see if they themselves have ever tested positive for COVID. And based off of their answers of that criteria, excuse me, we know where to send them so they're not exposing other patients. Excuse me. I gotta grab my iced coffee because throat's a little dry. But in my year of working in the ER, I can honestly say that I have a great group of coworkers, a great group of managers and supervisors. My charge nurses are amazing. And then it is honestly a team effort. And I love my job. I love my career. I love the hospital that I work in. I love my department. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. So I plan on staying in the ER as long as they will have me. And like I said, my ultimate career goal is to be a labor and delivery nurse. But the ER is my home, and I love the ER. So my first week in the ER was pretty smooth. You know, my first week was smooth. I had great preceptors teaching me, you know, how to transition into the emergency department, and it was really nice. My first couple months were great. When I was on my own, I got into the swing of things like nothing. It wasn't a hard transition for me. I did have a couple days where I was a bit overwhelmed as far as the pace of everything, because the ER is very fast paced and you could be needed in so many areas at one time, and at times I felt like I was being pulled in 10 different directions at once. You know, I need to medicate, I need to do a splint, I need to discharge this patient over here wants water in a blanket, and that patient, you know, is complaining saying, where's the doctor, they're taking too long. So you have to really prioritize your work, and you really have to make sure that patient care is always number one, because ultimately we want to make the patients satisfied, but you want to have a good balance as well. One thing that I learned in the ER, you ease a lot of people's anxiety when you let them know what's going on. So if it is a busy day in the ER and you know there's long wait times, let that person know that, just to let you know, you're checking in, but the wait time is at least 6 hours. So, you know, give them options, update them regularly, and communicate with them, because there's no worse feeling than going into the ER. You're already sick. You don't feel good. The stress level is up there. You're waiting for a long time. Nobody's letting you know how long it's going to be, when you could possibly be called back into a room. And that's a very frustrating feeling. I've been a patient in that situation before, and no one likes that. So try to update these people, update them, you know, make them feel as comfortable as you possibly can. If you know they came in for abdominal pain or knee pain, or you know they fell and possibly fractured something, medicate them. Give them some pain meds so at least they're a little bit more comfortable while they're in the lobby waiting. Don't just let them sit and say, oh, you have to wait to see a doctor. Like, no, communicate with the physicians and the providers and say, hey, we have a patient out here in the lobby. They're in extreme abdominal pain. We don't have a bed for them, but what can we do for them from the lobby? You can medicate them. You know, you can do something. So always try to communicate with these patients and let them know what's going on. If you call them back to a room and you know the physician or the provider is in the next room doing a laceration that's going to take about 20 minutes, let the patient know. Let the patient know. Call them back and say, hey, the doctor's in the next room. He is doing a laceration repair, so it might take a little, you know, longer than expected, but be patient. Is there anything I could give you? And you know, while you're waiting, update them. You know, just let them know what's going on. And it makes a difference. It really makes a difference, and they're appreciative when you do that. Going into the ER, there were so many things that I was nervous about, and so many things that I honestly was like scared of, like EKGs. When I first got hired, I had never done an EKG in my life, but the more you do it, it becomes second nature to you. So now I bust out EKGs like nothing. You know what I mean? And when I first started, I had a lot of trouble. Where do I put this sticker? Where does this go? And it's confusing. But now EKGs are nothing. do it in a couple minutes, and you know. But there's a lot of procedures that I have not done yet that I'm interested in doing. Um, I have not participated in a code blue since I've been in the ER. When I was working in nursing homes, I did a lot of CPR, a lot of CPR, especially working night shift. You know, that's during the hours of like 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. That's like the window of where we would find patients unresponsive. And so we did a lot of code blues in the nursing homes. But in the ER, I have not actively participated in a code blue. And the code blues in the hospital are completely different from the code blues in the nursing home, because when we run codes in the nursing home, it's literally just me and the CNAs, and that's it. But in the hospital, you have the physician, you have techs, you have the RNs, so they pretty much have it covered, and you just go to assist them if they need help. If they get a pulse back and they need an EKG, you could do that. Or if they need, you know, I don't know, supplies or whatever, if you need to grab a med for them like epi or, you know, whatever, you can do that. But actively doing compressions, I have not done that yet in the ER. So we shall see if that changes in the future. But so far, no, I have not done any CPR in the ER. So, I can't really think of anything else to tell you guys other than I've had a great first year in the ER, and I haven't had too many bad experiences in the ER. One thing I do want to address, the state and the climate of the environment in the hospital sometimes can get weird, especially with the pandemic happening, with the racial tensions as high as they are, with the Black Lives Matter protesting and all that stuff. It kind of affects you at times. There was a time where I was screening patients in the front with security, and we had a Hispanic male come in that was clearly intoxicated, but he had been assaulted, and I guess he was assaulted by a group of black men. So he goes into the ER, and just out of nowhere, he's shouting, "Black lives don't matter. Black lives don't matter." And I'm the only black nurse at the time in that area, in the lobby area. So everybody's looking at me like, oh my God, is she offended? What is she gonna say? And I felt like all eyes are on me. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not offended at all. Like, trust me, I'm not offended. He's not hurting my feelings. I felt, you know, just completely fine. But I felt like everybody was honing in on me and my reaction. And I was just like, whatever. Like, you know, it didn't offend me at all. It was almost comical to me, because when people say stuff like that, it's really a reflection of how they feel. So I don't get offended when people say racial, you know, slurs or whatever. It doesn't affect me. But the simple fact that he was walking around the lobby screaming at the top of his lungs, and mind you, it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming "Black lives don't matter." I was like, okay, like, do you feel better about yourself? So I get situations like that happen. Situations like anti-maskers will come in, and I get the whole, I don't want to wear a mask, I'm tired of wearing the mask, because I feel the same way. But when you come into the emergency department, you're coming into the hospital in general, why would you not want to wear a mask? You know, it's not like you're going into the mall or going into the grocery store or the liquor store really quick in and out and you don't have a mask on, whatever. I don't care about that. But you're coming into an establishment with known COVID positive people, or people who possibly have symptoms, without a mask, saying, oh, I can't breathe in the mask, I don't want to wear a mask. And I'm just like, well, go home then. Go home. If you don't want to wear the mask, it's fine. You just can't come in here, because it's too risky. And we've had a patient that came in, he had a mask on, but he had it pulled down below his nose. So he was checking in, and the nurse politely asked him, sir, you have to pull your mask up over your nose. And he lost it. He got pissed off and he stormed out saying, I'm going to call the director. And we're like, okay, the director is the one that put the policy in place, but okay, Mr. Badass, you know? Like, you get patients like that come in who are like rebels, I guess, if you will. And they don't want to follow the rules. They don't want to wear the mask. And it's kind of weird, but whatever. So you get instances like that that's really interesting in the ER. I have a lot of, it's not funny, but I have a lot of patients who come in for intoxication, and it's like not like serious drug intoxications. It's like, oh, I smoked too much weed and I feel like I'm dying, or I ate an edible and oh my gosh, I'm freaking the fuck out. So you get situations like that where it's not funny, but it's funny because, you know, they're not in any type of distress or life-threatening situation, but they're just psychologically freaking out. So you have to be there and calm them down. We get a lot of alcohol intoxications, more so on the weekends. That's when we get all of the intoxications coming in. And yeah, it's very interesting. I always joke around with my coworkers and say, we should have our own reality show. You know, you guys know the show, The Untold Stories of the ER. We should have the Untold Stories of the ER, the San Antonio edition. That would be great. But yes, you guys let me know what type of videos you want to see from me next. I personally am not into vlogging. A couple people suggested that I do like day in the life videos, which is fine, but realistically, like, I like to watch day in the life videos, but I can't see myself recording myself with my alarm going off and wiping crust out of my eyes and brushing my teeth. Like, I just can't see myself doing it. It's entertaining to watch, but it'll be kind of weird for me to record all of that. So I'm personally not into the vlogging thing in that aspect. But and I feel like everyone has pretty much the same routine. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you get dressed, you drink coffee, and you go about your day. So I'm more so interested in providing videos to you guys that are educational. Health awareness videos is something that I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do in the next month or two, that I'm going to start doing. Just treatments that I specifically do in the ER. Like the first video I'm sure that I'm going to record and upload is the treatment, like how to treat dog bites, and just go through the process of what I specifically do and what's done for patients who come in for that in the ER. So every week or 2 weeks I'll do a different treatment, like dog bites, chest pain, abdominal pain, headaches, migraines, like stuff like that, and upload that. I'm very interested in doing, you know, stuff like that. Vlogs, I might do vlogs. I'm not making no promises, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, but we'll see what happens in the future. Thank you guys for tuning in to my video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll take all of the love and support I can get, and I'm very appreciative for you guys. Stay tuned for my videos in the future, and thank you guys for watching. I love all of you guys.